intro in. All right, we are live. We are live once again. This is the VF Cast, episode 2. And today, I have a guest with me today because he really wanted to be on this show. And I decided to go ahead and do it because in the beginning, I was not going to really do any guests until after the fact. I was going to wait until I get my feet on the ground as far as this podcast up and running. But the person I want to bring in, he's well respected. He's been on the First and Frame Rates podcast numerous times, basically an honorary member of that podcast. So I decided to go ahead and add him on here because he is a streamer. And as far as streaming on easy mode, I think he's going to have a lot of things to say about it. And it's going to be really interesting to have his take on it. So therefore, we're going to have him come in, and I'm going to let him speak in a few seconds. I want everybody to know that I really appreciate everybody who has been supporting this podcast so far. Episode 1 was pretty good. It turned out to be a success. Turned out to be a lot more than I thought it would be. I didn't think too many people were going to be interested, and I really appreciate that. If you're unaware, if you're over on Twitch, that is great, but we're also live streaming on Facebook Gaming and YouTube. And if you have not already, go over there to YouTube and go ahead and subscribe to the VFcast channel. Definitely will appreciate that. So we are going to get right into it. Let me go ahead and jump over to the right scene. Is that it? There we go. Look like we are good to go. And this guy here needs no introduction. He's a pretty prominent guy in the space of you can say Twitch, and you're on Gleamish now. So that's going to be pretty interesting to talk about as far as you streaming and over there and streaming on easy mode, because some people are doing that and it's actually not a bad idea. But we'll talk about that. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and give us an intro, and I'll get into everything else that I want to talk about as far as this podcast.
All right, so for people that don't know who I am, my name is Pooh. As another word for my username, I am SpectacularPooh. Now, for the type of gaming that I do is I do variety of games. I play a long list of stuff, such as ranging from sports games, like Madden or like 2K, or 2K whenever I got the time, like NFL 2K, or racing games like Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit Remastered, or Need for Speed Heat. Or if not that, I do play some action games from time to time, some story mode games like the Warriors, like Max Payne. I also play some fighting games like Super Smash Brothers. I got a wide list of stuff that I have to play, and I love to play it with my community. I love to play it with anybody that that loves to come by. They feel entertained to watch.
But not only that, you also do a handful of retro games as well. I noticed that you've done Metroid Prime. You play a lot of games on the PlayStation 2 emulator. So as far as game preservation, I know you have a couple of things you want to say about that as well. So it's just a pretty good. I mean, you picked a good time to come over here because I was, like I said, this podcast basically is mostly a solo podcast, and I was going to start adding people for long form interviews down the road once I got my feet up and running with the podcast. But when you said you wanted in on this, I thought about it, and I thought it'd be a really good opportunity to do so. So I'm really glad that you're here. Also, if you guys haven't already, share this podcast. Let people know what we're doing over here because not only that the First and Frame Rates podcast, we got a pretty good following over there. I want this one to pick up steam as well. Also, if you're new to this and this is your first time seeing this, I do stream and play games on my Twitch channel, and every now and then I'll go on Facebook gaming as well, and I'll stream over there as well. So it's more to me just talking because I do talk a lot. Let's just get right into it. Game preservation. You know that the PS3 that is going down as far as the store. I think the last day is like July on the PS. If you have a PlayStation 3, you can buy games on there until July 2nd or something like that. And if you have a PlayStation Vita, I think it's the August 27th or something like that. It's like some weird, gap in between the two. But I want to know your thoughts about not just those stores going away, but just preserving these games in general. What are your thoughts about it? And do you have any solution or a better way that these companies could do a better job at preserving these games?
My thoughts on it really is I really do not like. Everybody clearly doesn't like it, but I can't blame people that would really want to sit up there and say, "Hey, yo, this is why we buy physical copies of games, or this is why we have digital copies of these games, or why we don't have certain games off our hard drives." This kind of stuff is why I completely understand it, because this is like you're losing history here. Like you're losing. This is the kind of history that we can look back on 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the road, and we could even pass this along to our future kids, to our future grandkids or great grandkids, which I just really feel like I'm always a fan of preserving this kind of history, and I know you feel the same. I know everybody around here feels the same when it goes to preserving this kind of stuff. So all in all, really, to make it as simple as I possibly can, but I understand why Sony wants to do this. They really want to push people to sit up there and grab themselves a PS5. I get that. That was the same case when it went to. That was the same case, I guess, when it went to the 360, when they was going to shut down the Xbox Online servers. They really wanted to push people to grab themselves a 360, and God forbid, but sooner or later, this might happen to the Xbox 360 later down the road, seeing as some of those games they're getting ported over there, over the Xbox One. But for Sony to do what they've done with this and not have any backwards compatibility, not have any way of remastering at least a couple of these games, it hurts. It hurts for people like us that wants to continue playing these games. It hurts for people like us that wants to, one day, even though we don't have this console now, such as me, I don't have a PS3 right now, I still want to go out and, grab one and grab a couple of these games digitally. So now this kind of sucks. Plain and simple.
I think the main thing about it is when people say about preserving these games, that's the first thing a lot of people say. Oh, I don't want to play these games, or why does it matter? I don't have the console. I get that point, but I think it's a very small point in the bigger scheme of things. You don't want to get in a situation where you're just getting rid of art, you're getting rid of ideas, you're getting rid of intellectual properties where they can never have access to them again by I'll say by legal means. That's one of the main things. It's not about just I want to play this game now or whatever the case may be. Like I said, it's almost, to me, it's like, why would you get rid of certain books that no longer in print? Why wouldn't you try to preserve that? Case in point, what about music? Some music is not able to be preserved, but they try their best to have these phones or have other means of media so those MP3s could be compatible with said music from back in the day. You got games that came out in the 80s, 90s, I mean, we got games that came out in the 80s and 90s, and they're still able to play them on, current devices. I mean, what happens if, like say, I ain't say what happens. Just look at it to the lens of like, okay, what if Run DMC, you can't play their music on an MP3 player, or you can't play it on your phone because it's outdated. They constantly kept the format to where you can still use it. Not, it may be a bad analogy, but I'm just saying like they should have a way that you can still have access to these games. And I am at this point. I mean, I've said it a while back. I'm not definitely necessarily opposed to getting ROMs or getting games and holding on to them if you have the way to get it, long as you're not like taking money away from developers or companies or whatever, because they're not making money off of them. They're getting to the point now they're just getting rid of them. It's like they just don't want, like, they don't want anything to do with it. They're getting rid of them. You can't purchase them anymore. That's why, even though it kind of like contradicts what I say, because you look behind me, I have a whole bunch of games, but at the same time, I'm like, if you can't get these games, like these digital games that you'll never be able to get anymore, and I always use always use the Contra game that was on the Wii, or the Contra Rebirth game. You can't get that game anymore anywhere. There are some games that are going to be out on that's going away on PS3 that you can't get anywhere else anymore. I'm highly against that. Just saying they're going away, and we should be able to have access, so somebody should have a copy of that game just for history purposes. And I think that's the main thing I'm worried about. Not necessarily like, oh, maybe one day I want to play this game. I mean, that's a side note to me, honestly. So
yeah, pretty much. I hate to cut you off, but yeah, pretty much. This right here, I guess this kind of leads to what you were asking me initially when it went to how do you go about preserving these consoles or preserving these kind of games. For one, first and foremost, this right now just justified pirating. I don't care what people have to say about it. I understand, there's a lot of negative towards it, but Sony doing this just justified pirating. You justified people sitting up there getting the RPCS3 emulator, downloading that shit, and then after that, downloading said games that you can't get on the PlayStation Store no more. You justified that. You also justified people getting hacked consoles to where they can do essentially the same thing. Just
I have a question. I do have a question, honestly, and this is a great area, but I'm really curious about it. Is it really pirating when you're getting a game that's no longer in circulation?
Honestly, no.
Say for instance, right now, somebody wanted to get Little Samson off the NES, and they can't get it because Little Samson is $12,000 right now. You can go on eBay right now, or you go try to get Panzer Dragoon Saga, which is another game that's over $2,000 now, probably more than that. Is it really that when you're not paying a developer, you're paying some guy that's in a retro game store that's basically getting over on you? I mean, you're paying for rarity. Is it? I mean, is that actually ethical? In my opinion, I mean, what are we looking at?
At this point, I feel like right now with what we're doing in gaming, with the era we're going at with gaming, I feel like if you buy that shit for that amount of money, at this point, you just want to fill the cartridge and see the game's title in your hand at this point.
Right, and I'm one of those type of people. I'm one of those type of people, but I'll be damned if I'm going to be paying that kind of money for a NES cartridge. I'm not doing it. I mean, I got a few Sega Saturn games behind me, but I'm not about to pay over $1,300 for a Panzer Dragoon Saga. I'm not doing it. Like, the most I paid for Musha, which is back here. That's the Sega Genesis game. That was $400, but I saved up for that, and I really wanted that game. But that's probably be the last time I'll do anything like that, to pay that kind of money to do so. But that's another thing. Like, some people do it and they want to keep the purity of collecting, where you are trying to keep these games in the shape that they were made. Like, and you probably can't find them now because of the fact that it's they're rare, it's older, and they're doing it. And I get that. I don't have nothing against it. But if I casually just want to play the game, I'm not about to pay an exorbitant amount of money to do that. I'm not doing it. I mean,
Yeah, at this point, no, it's not. It's not pirating at this point.
right.
I mean, look, right now, I don't have a Nintendo Wii anymore. I gave my Nintendo Wii up, because I didn't want it anymore. I only played 1 or 2 games, but look, I'm still gonna get a couple of the games off there. Because here's the deal: Nintendo's not making any more money off the Wii, let alone the games. They're not making more money.
Especially with the virtual console is going, so they're definitely not making money off of it.
Right, right. They're not doing that. They're not making money off the Wii U anymore. They gave that up real quick. They're not making money off the GameCube anymore. So at this point, no. It's not. No, I'm sorry. At this point, I can't even say it's pirating anymore. Talk to me when it's pirating, such as right now, when people they literally have a Nintendo Switch emulator, and they have the games up and running. That's pirating. That's pirating.
No, you don't want to go out and try to. My son, he hit his foot.
Okay.
It's okay. All right. Yeah, he always wants to kiss on somewhere when he hurt something.
Mm-hmm.
But
I get it. Yeah.
no, you don't want to be that person to go out and say, "Hey, I'm about to go pirate Control." Or I'm about to go, pirate a game that's like brand new, Gears 5, or I'm about to pirate, what's the new game? Outriders. I mean, we're not doing that. I'm talking about like these older games, like these games that are leaving the PS3. I know Digital Foundry just did a video. I was going to do a video. Radical Reggie did a video about games that are still on the PS3 that you could buy like right now. And once they're gone, I have no problem if you decide to copy Suikoden, the RPG game from PlayStation 1, or Adventures of Tron Bond, or Mega Man Legends. If you want to do that, you're not going to be able to get it nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you do you know the price of Mega Man Legends 2 right now? You go try to buy a physical copy of that, you're paying over almost $200. I'm not, as much as I got these games back here, I'm not doing that. There's some games I will pay a pretty penny for, and like my limit, honestly, and I'm not talking about the Musha deal, my limit to buy a game is probably maybe $90 to $100. And it got to be a game that I really, really want a physical copy of. Outside of that, once it goes past that, I'm going to probably end up trying to get it on a blank disc and burn it, or I'll probably get a ROM and put it on one of my mini consoles, and I'll just play it like that. There's no way that I'm going to be doing anything of that nature. I'm just not.
Yeah, very much.
Quayface said, yeah, when it reaches to that reaches BS levels. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's nobody out here. I'm not about to sit here and try to I'm not about to sit here and try to pay that much money. He said Outriders is fire. I actually thought about playing that game. I think I'm gonna play that one day, but we'll talk about that on another episode.
Probably good that later on.
So as far as you emulating these games and like, let's say for the PlayStation 2, which is another console that if people don't watch it, that some of the prices on some of those games is starting to go up. It's a really cool console to collect for, but there's some games out there that you don't want to buy, like Rule of Rose is extremely expensive right now. I think Yakuza 2 started to go up on PS2, believe it or not.
I don't know why. Here's the thing. I don't know why with that, when you got the Yakuza collection that's actually about to come on Steam, and it's about to come on just about everywhere.
I'm gonna tell you, from a guy who collects like I do, the thing about collecting is exactly what it is. It's collecting. Some people may not understand this, but some people collect because they want games in the original form that they were in. It's one of the reasons why I do try to it's one of the reasons why I have been collecting Wii U games, because I think sometime down the road, people are going to be looking at this console and they're going to be like, hey, Nintendo put out a product, and you know how Nintendo products are. They skyrocket in price at some point. But I like the idea of what Wii U did. I like what the Saturn did as far as their long box games. I like what they did even with the Sega Genesis with the clamshells cases. People collect games for those reasons. Like, I like to have a library of games, basically. But as far as playability, I don't think half of the people are going to go play Yakuza 2 on the PlayStation 2 right now, unless if it's just for kicks and giggles for a stream or whatever. But like you said, yeah, Yakuza 2 is the whole collection is about to be on Steam. It's on, I think it's on Xbox Live right now, and I have it on PS4. So, but I'm with you right there. But for me, I don't mind buying certain games, but like I said, it just has to be in that price range that I buy them in. Like I recently bought like this game right here. You can't find this game anywhere anymore. I'm glad I got this right here. This game right here, Dungeons and Dragon Heroes, you can see it up here at the top. It's only on Xbox. This is a exclusive to Xbox. And I don't want to talk about the condition that is in, but this is a really good game I've been playing, and you can't get it nowhere else. I can see why somebody would buy this because it's just the only place you can get it. But for the most part, you just have collectors. Some collectors are really weird. They do some things where it's like they literally they literally just try to get the entire collection of the console. They want every game that came out for the. I can't do that. I'm like really close on the original Xbox, but I don't see myself doing it. Like right now, I'm at like 500. I got like 500 more to go. I doubt if I do that. You know what I mean? It's just something that I probably won't do. Let's see. King David said, I've seen multiple people talking about emulating Rise. See, this is what I'm talking about. Why would they do that? That's the type of stuff I'm against. This game just came out, and you got people talking about they're going to try to emulate that game.
Thankfully, and I hope this is the case, thankfully, your ass can only play offline because in order to really progress and know what the true story is like, you have to go out and buy the game. Right. Now, take that for what it is. The only thing you're doing is just playing the single player mode for free and probably getting your ass kicked by the monsters anyway. So that's as far as you're gonna go. Yeah, I really do.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I understand that people want to emulate the game and put it on PC because it may look better. But my thing is, make sure you pay the devs who made this game.
Why pirate Monster Hunter?
Yeah, that's it. But I'm just saying that's where I think it gets too far. I don't want this conversation to be like, yeah, we're preserving games. We're going to take games that's no longer available, and that's the thing. We're taking games that's no longer available and keeping them on a hard drive. I have no problem with that. But if you're going to sit here and tell me when Resident Evil 8 comes out, you're going to pirate that shit and play it, that I have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff I don't like. Support the devs, support the people that are out here. But what I don't support is, and I deal with this a lot because I every week I go out to buy games for my pickup videos. I like buying games anyway. I always run into one or two games that I see that's wildly overpriced, and the person who runs the store is sitting there smiling, think they're about to get a payday. I don't like that type of shit. That's the type of stuff I don't like. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of stuff that can go by the wayside. But yeah, I was about to ask you before you started talking about like as far as emulating games on the PlayStation 2. I think you also use Dolphin too, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
I use both of them.
How do you feel about the quality of using those emulators for the games? How do you feel like based on because I'm a contrast with that as far as me using real hardware because I like to use real hardware. So how do you like playing on those emulators?
I'd argue and say it's better than what it would be with the original hardware. That's just my I mean, like the only thing, and this is really more so in the PCSX2 point of view, not more so in Dolphin, because Dolphin is just about flawless. Like it's incredible with how well Dolphin is made.
I agree with that.
But when it goes to the PCSX2, the problem with that is that there's always going to be some frame rate issues here and there. Son, with a couple games.
Give me that. Oh, badass.
I'm gonna say I'll wait. Don't get me wrong. No, I'll wait. I'm patient. But yeah, basically, it's like that when it goes to the PCSX2 emulator, to where they had the better resolution, the better quality. But what hurts the PCSX2 still to this day, and I hope someday it can be fixed, is the frame rate and the hardware, the amount that the CPU has to put to really run the game. So I really hope someday down the line that can get addressed, because other than that, the PC SX2 is just great to game on. Like,
It
you
came a long way
remember,
because I remember when it first started. Oh my god,
right?
the PlayStation 2 emulator was very rough, and I was one of the first people to try it when it first started. And albeit I was using it on a laptop, but it was really rough, and it came a long way. I agree with you on that. But as far as Dolphin, hell, I use Dolphin, and I like to use. I mean, I have my Wii and my GameCube right here next to me, and I still use them. But there are some times I just want to play like a game in 4K. You know what I mean? It's just sometimes I just want to do that. I want to play a Mario game in 4K, or I want to play like NBA Street Volume 2 in 4K, and that's what I do.
Let me tell you the amazing thing about Dolphin. One other plus. Now, just now, recently, Nintendo decided to fuck around and close off the Mario All
Hold on, right back.
Stars. Right?
Keep talking.
They closed that off a couple. I think was like 3 days ago, 3 days ago. Now, right now, as we speak, being honest, this is probably. I know we just talked about having to pirate current games and shit like that. But seeing as those games that came out, they were in a pack, such as Mario Sunshine, Mario 64, and Mario Galaxy. Right now, if I was you, if you want to play those games, get Dolphin.
And you know what? I just talked, and I'm glad we just segued into that because look, now you can't get those 3 games anymore. They're not on the Switch unless if you have like an old code or you want to go on eBay and purchase the physical copy of it. I'm pretty sure the price of that's about to go up. So it's like, I don't blame you. Like, I think Mario 64 was on the Switch, so you can probably get on the Switch emulator. But Mario 64 is on Project 64, and you can run that at high resolution and high frame rates. And then you have Dolphin where you can do Sunshine and Galaxy. So I'm with you on that. I mean, this is another reason why I have no problem with, like, say, if you did get a copy of this game and run it on the emulator, or if you have a modded console, because it's not available anymore. And even if you wanted the original versions of them, I mean, you go buy the N64 version of Mario 64, who are you paying? You're not paying Nintendo at this point. You know what I'm saying? I think King David said it best. He said, pirating current games is scum, emulating games that I can no longer go out and easily acquire to play. That's where I'm at. And you're talking to a guy who buy games. I have no problem with that at all. And like I said, these 3 Mario games are the perfect example of like the latest games I don't have a problem with.
Right. And one other thing, I understand people's probably going to have some bit of issue when it goes to, okay, how can you emulate the Wiimote to have it work on your, let's say, on your PS4 or Xbox controller. I'm sure there's tutorials out there that really do a good job on having to do that. I mean, hell, I was able to play Metroid Prime 3, which was literally exclusive to using the Wiimote on my PS4 controller with absolutely no problem.
Yeah, so the emulator does a good job of doing that. Yeah, the emulator does a pretty good job of doing that, and it's good to see that. I mean, I don't even think they do any more updates to the Dolphin because it's done so well. They don't need to do anything to it. Really I mean, it's probably like the best emulator that's ever been produced, in my opinion. Because every time I look at it, or when I looked at the times when they were updating it, I don't think it's been updated probably about 3-4 years. But every time I go and play a game on it, I mean, it's just like really, it's really phenomenal. But King David also said, this is why I'm just starting to buy more physical games and keep games I do own. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is a reason why I collect games, because the games that I want, that I want to be mine, I want them to be mine. And if I have to like knock out this part of the wall to put another bookshelf up here, I will. As far as the PlayStation 3 store, and I just started, and I didn't do a video on this, but I talked to DJ, my co-host on First and Frame Rates. He saw me. I was on the Wii U Virtual Console, because you know that's next. That store is about to be going probably within the next year or two. So what I've been doing, I went to the Wii U Virtual Console and I started buying games over there. They have games for the Wii, Game Boy Advance. They have games for the DS. They have games for the Wii. And they have games for Wii U. Also, they have games for TurboGrafx, Super Nintendo. They have N64 games. They have I think I said Super Nintendo and NES. They have a lot of games, and they got a bunch of indie games that nobody know about that are on the WiiWare. Like same thing like it was with WiiWare on the original Wii. There's a lot of games over there that people may want to look at. And I know too many people don't have a Wii U, but I'm going to do my best to buy games that I want, preferably that's Game Boy Advance, because I don't like playing handheld games. One of the reasons why I don't have a Wii Switch yet. I don't like playing handheld games, but you can play those Game Boy Advance games on your Wii U. So
and the 3DS, you can use the Citra emulator to play 3DS games on there. Yep. See, I'm kind of the same way when it goes to VF. I really am not too big of a fan when it goes to playing handheld games. So for me, I picked up the 3DS. I'm able to play Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate on there with no problems. There's also the PSP emulator as well, which Sony don't give a damn about anymore as well. So you can just pick up games from there and, have fun from there. And hell, I think if you go on eBay right now, a PSP costs like $300. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I got a PSP and I'm glad I still got mine. And shout out to Shady SI on SIO2 on Twitter. He taught me how to mod my PSP. And I'm glad I did that because now those games, all those PSP games about to be gone. That are in the store. Those about to be gone as well. And like I said, people may sit here and be like, "Oh, they're game. I don't want to play. I want to play the new stuff," and that's fine. But we're talking about preserving games, and actually, there may be some games on there that you may like. I had no idea I was going to like Contra Rebirth, and I'm a big Contra fan. But Contra, in my opinion, Contra fell off once it left the Super Nintendo. But Contra Rebirth is basically what I wanted to see when the game came to 32-bit. Because, Contra wasn't all that good. I think Contra Shattered Soldier was okay, but nobody wants to go play Neo Contra. That game is ridiculously, it's a decent game, but it's not what you want to see. But there's like a lot of other games that, you can't really get. When the Wii Virtual Console left, you lost out. Give me this. You lost out on a lot of TurboGrafx games. Go and try to find some TurboGrafx games now that you want to buy. Just regular Hue cards alone are over $100, and people know how high in demand the TurboGrafx is. The TurboGrafx Mini is over almost $200 now. The mini console. So there are games that are on the Wii U Virtual Console. I'm going to try to get as many of those as I can, the ones that I want, and I'm going to try to get those. Also, I haven't even talked about the Japanese PlayStation Store. That's a whole nother thing I could talk about, where you got games over there that are really good. The PlayStation 2 Classics. You think the PlayStation 2 Classics are good over here in the States? Japan got it beat. The PS2 Classics in Japan are phenomenal. And you can't, once July comes, they're going to be gone. They're going to be, and you can get PC Engine, aka TurboGrafx 16 games on your PlayStation 3. That's going to be gone as well, and all that stuff is going to go up in price. So it's just, to me, it's really unfortunate when they don't just at least leave this stuff up to actually let you continue to purchase. And I think that's one of the main things I'm worried about. Is like at least leave it there.
All I can say is I hope for the PS3 emulator. It's making phenomenal progress, but I really hope that it continues that progress, so in that way we can able to keep preserving, keep having fun with these games that are currently about to go away. So that's one console, one emulator I need to really, really hope it succeed within the next 5 years.
It's doing really good right now, and the fact that the PS3 store is going down, you better believe it's going to be some work to be done to it to make it work very well, because those people who do those emulators over there, the emulators in general, their main purpose is preservation. A lot of people think, they just do this just to play on their PC. Like, no, they do this for preservation. That's literally what it's for. So it's not all about just, we're just gonna just pirate a bunch of games. No, the main emulator, that's made for preservation. All these other ones are made for preservation. They're not necessarily for somebody to go and pirate. Quayface said somebody got him a PSP years ago. Look, like I said, I'm not big on handhelds. I have one. I think the only handheld I really, really played was the Game Boy Advance. I was a big fan of that one. And I think it was around that time when it was touted that the Super Nintendo graphics was in your hand. And I was like, oh, I'm going to try this. And I actually liked it. It was pretty decent. But I'm more of the fact that I can't do it anymore. I can't do the handheld stuff, but I like the fact that the Game Boy Advance stuff is on the Wii U because I think they got a good bit of Castlevania games on there that I'm going to try to stream them as well. So I don't have anything else on this topic. I mean, I want to try to get this going for this podcast to go about an hour. We did about 30 minutes so far. I think we did pretty good on that. You got anything you want to add to it before we hit the next topic?
No, not really.
No, I don't have anything else. Streamers playing on easy mode when they stream. Oh, if you guys don't mind, hit the like button over there if you're over there on the YouTube side. That helps with the algorithm, make people find what we're doing over here, and possibly they can come in and chat as well. So let me know your thoughts about that. Because you like to stream, I like to stream. We talk about this this difficulty thing about being challenged or whatever, but you have a handful of gamers that like to stream on easy mode. What are your thoughts about that?
Here's the thing. I don't mind for anybody that wants to stream and play games on easy mode. I don't have an issue with that. My thing is that for the situation that we have now where a person just I feel like randomly brings it up saying, "Oh, you're sick of being shamed for playing it on easy mode." I feel like when you put stuff like this out there, I feel like you're asking.
Yep.
You're literally asking for people to get on social media and just blame you for this whole thing. Like, look, we pretty much all say it, no matter difficulty, have fun with the game. And this even goes for a specific amount of games that don't have an easy mode, which is definitely where I got a problem with it. So we all know the whole infamous thing talking about Dark Souls being hard, talking about Sekiro being hard, and now all of a sudden we got this with Monster Hunter apparently being hard. Here's the thing. Those games were meant to be hard. Right. And on top of that, those games were meant so that if you really want that true kind of experience, you play it on the difficulty that they set it out for you to play on. Now, if you want to play it on easy, go ahead. Some games, if not most games, are going to give you that option to play it on easy mode. But please don't sit up here talking about you want to play this on easy, and then you fuck around and you play Dark Souls or Bloodborne expecting the experience to be easy. That's where I got a problem with this. That's like me playing Madden on rookie mode just because I want the experience, when really I'll really get that true experience if I play it on All Pro or if I play it on All Madden.
Right. I mean, my thing is play the games that you want to play how you like, play the way you enjoy it. I have no problem with that. My main thing is I know some people who claim to be gamers and they do the type of stuff, and I don't like that. But like you said, if you come out and just say it, you're asking for criticism. I think some people just want to smoke just for clout. But
right.
My main thing is, if you're out here just playing games on easy and you're genuinely having fun with it, who cares? But you have some people who do it just to say, "Oh, I'm a beast," and we know you're terrible. Because I think what's his name was doing that. Oh goodness, he's a really big YouTuber too. Oh, Angry Joe. Angry Joe.
Yeah, definitely Angry Joe. Yeah.
He streams on all his games on easy, and I noticed that one time when I went to go look at one of his. He was doing the first Last of Us, and I noticed it was on easy because obviously he was just running through the game. I was like, what the hell? And then that's when people in the chat were saying that he was playing on easy. I was like, yeah, I'm not watching this no more. I'm good. Choco Snow said, I remember when Monster Hunter used to be referred as the Dark Souls of Nintendo consoles, which is funny considering it started on PS2. Yes, he's right. He's right.
Oh, God.
King David said people still compare Monster Hunter to Dark Souls even after the game are becoming more and more accessible. Yeah, because see, Monster Hunter wasn't really a thing over here in the West. It was a really big deal in Japan. And I think it really caught mainstream when Monster Hunter World?
You are correct.
Yeah, it caught mainstream with Monster Hunter World because even when the games were coming over here, people weren't really jumping on Monster Hunter like that. But
you know why I laughed so hard with that? People are saying people are really sitting up there saying that Monster Hunter is becoming the Dark Souls is becoming like Dark Souls. When I swear to you, I feel like these people do not look at the amount of time Monster Hunter has tried to put in to help people. They literally have tutorials in the game. They have lots of tutorials in the game. This is what World and this is what Rise. They did that. They literally have little pop-ups to tell you what to do. They have damage numbers. Monster Hunter back then did not have damage numbers.
Yeah, you're right. They didn't. And I'm not even a big fan of Monster Hunter back then, but I remember that.
Right. They never had damage numbers. Some of them didn't even have mounting in the game. Mounting didn't even become a thing in Monster Hunter until Monster Hunter 4. That includes with the insect glaive being introduced. The monsters were actually a lot more harder back then. A lot more harder back then compared to now. Whereas actually they're actually putting the time in to fix some of these monsters' hitboxes. Capcom has done a lot to try to make this game as accessible for everyone, but still keep their core foundation of what they are.
Yeah, they basically westernized the game.
Right, basically. But here's the thing, though, which is the crazy part about it. Even despite that, Monster Hunter is not gonna hold your hand.
No.
See, I still remember. Choco knows this. King David probably knows this because he was probably getting into Monster Hunter from this point. I remember when Alatreon released for Monster Hunter World, and the main thing that I saw was people bitching and complaining, talking about how hard the monster was, saying that they couldn't beat him, saying that the Eschaton Judgment move that Alatreon does when you don't do enough elemental damage to him, they saying that's cheap, instead of people sitting up there getting good, looking up builds on YouTube, looking for help, which is another problem because motherfuckers don't want to ask for help. They just want to sit up there and jump into a game and think it's all well and good. So instead of that, they just want to sit up there, make an article or make a tweet and bitch about the game. No, fuck you. Either get in the game, get good, or get rid of the game. Plain and simple. You should know exactly what kind of game you are getting yourself into. We have all this knowledge. We have Google. We have YouTube. You mean to tell me you can't take a couple seconds out of your damn day to Google Monster Hunter World gameplay or Google Monster Hunter World builds or Monster Hunter Rides builds? Look at the game.
But this is the thing. I mean, people did that with not Monster, but Resident Evil 2. They were mad because Mr. X was difficult, quote unquote. They did that with other games that they found that was quote unquote too hard and they didn't want to play. It's like you can really tell when people play games just want to do it, and which is fine. But don't sit here and try to say that you're this type of gamer and then all of a sudden you need somebody to hold your hand. It is what it is. You can't have it both ways. It's like I want to do this, but I want it to be this way. Like I don't have a problem with anybody who's streaming on easy mode, but these are the ones that I have a problem with. The ones who claim that they're this and that, and you find out you end up getting exposed for doing the opposite. That's what I don't like.
Can I go ahead and say this?
No, go ahead.
This is not necessarily. Well, this kind of relates. Because VF, you probably saw it when I was tweeting about it, but what really pissed me off this week was when one particular person, again, this is still related to Monster Hunter, when one particular person got into Monster Hunter Rise, and he got his ass kicked by one monster, took all 3 of his lives. He not only rage quitted the game, but then sat up there and just straight up said the game sucks. Not only did he say the game sucks, he said, it's 2000, it's 2021, it's not 2005. Talking about when it goes to how the game did the hitboxes or how the game did attacks or something like that.
Right.
I didn't pay attention entirely, but he tried to say, anybody that likes this game is just straight garbage. Like they don't know gaming or whatever it is. I'm like, really? You sat up there and you spent $60 on this game, and that's your response? Really? May I also add Monster Hunter World, Monster Hunter Rise has a demo, so that way you guys can go try it out before you sit up there and you decide to spend your money on it. So you don't have to look up YouTube if you don't want to.
But see, I mean, this is the thing. This is another thing. Like you said, when we talk about accessibility, it's not just accessibility to the games. It's more like you have a lot of information and knowing what you're getting into before these games come out. You know what you're getting into prior to that. This is why, when people are, like I said, decide to stream at the difficulty level they want to, it's fine. But I just don't understand, like, what I really don't like. I don't understand how people try to complain about a game being hard when you have the option just to play the game the way you wanted to play. And if you wanted to play that way, it's cool. And I don't think nobody should berate you for that. But like you said about the person who did, I don't know, it was some female that did it. She was like really upset about it. It's like, you're asking for it. We know how people just want attention. It is what it is. But it's okay. But don't act like you're trying to be like this top-notch gamer and you come to find out that's what you're doing. Mm-hmm. That's the type of stuff I don't like. I mean, that's the stuff that needs to be, be eradicated in gaming in general. That is almost equivalent to somebody just hiding their achievements and trophies and stuff. I just don't get that. But that's another story for another day.
Yeah, pretty much. It's wild.
Is there any game that you play on, like any game that you play on easy just because? Just curious.
Honestly, no. I mean, I used to do it when I was a kid. Oh, that's the thing, because I was a kid, or just because I didn't know any better. But nowadays I don't necessarily play games on easy. I feel like the easiest for me is normal, if anything, because I feel like for me, like, look, I want to be able to experience the story, but at the same time, I want to be able to get hit with a wall or get hit with something that makes me think. I like the kind of games that really make me be like, okay, have me, rack my brain around it. Have me, find a way to get by this certain part. I feel like for me, that is just as much an accomplishment as much as me trying to play the game and trying to beat the story.
You basically just want to be challenged.
Yeah, basically. Just have me be challenged. Have me get hit with this certain stuff, because the way how I see it with a difficulty is how even I see it. For me, this is how I really do it, is how I even see it in life, where we're all gonna get hit with these challenges, we're all gonna get hit with these tests. So okay, we gotta find a way to get by this test. Sooner or later, I think we're gonna get by it.
Right, I think I talked about that last episode, just in general, about being challenged in games, and I think I talked about it on the First and Frederick's podcast, where I basically was saying that I think gaming in general should just it should challenge you. It should challenge your hand-eye coordination as far as your stick skills and your thought process throughout the game. Playing games on easy, if you're doing it just for streams and you want to entertain your guests, that's fine. I mean, I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking about people who just want to play games and actually overcome a challenge. Like for me, when I did Gears, I think I did Gears on normal because Gears gave me a challenge, but I should have taken a step up. Also, when I did Modern Warfare, the new Modern Warfare, I did that on the difficulty right below the hardest difficulty. Also, when I did Uncharted, I always try to do Uncharted on crushing. I always try to challenge myself in every game. That's just something that I like to do. This is one thing that I love to do.
Definitely. Like right now, there's only really 3 games. Two I'm playing now, Two I'm playing now. One I'm running it back because I want to, and one I'm playing now because somebody bought me the game, and one other one because I beat previously. Max Payne 1 is fucking difficult, beyond belief.
The first one,
I swear to you,
that game is difficult. It is.
I swear to you, the amount of times I sat up there and quick saved and loaded up and quick saved and loaded up, I'm telling you, I feel like I've lost.
That part when he's dreaming and you gotta go across those little white path to get to the crib. Oh my god.
Yo, I'm telling you,
that thing is that's not even a difficulty situation. That's just an annoying part of the game.
Like, and that shit is intentional. I'm like, yo, whoever made this game, bro, I'm telling you.
Yo, and you always end up falling.
You want to see me suffer? I swear. Y'all want to know some true Dark Souls shit? Go play Max Payne 1 and 2. And the crazy thing is, I haven't even gotten into much of 2, but I know when I do, it's going to be crazy.
I will say this. Max Payne 2 is not as aggravating as the first one. I will say that.
Oh, thank God.
It's not.
Thank God.
I will tell you, it's not as aggravating as the first one. The first one is just, oh my god, bad enough when you play it on a higher difficulty. Everybody got like really good aim, and then on top of that, you have to deal with that part when you have to go through the dream. You don't have to go through that again on Max Payne 2. You just have to deal with hard enemies.
Right.
But nah, you'll appreciate Max Payne 2 a little bit better. But
yeah.
Oh man, that first one was that was just horrible. Choco says Devil May Cry 1 is difficult for me, but I refuse to play it on easy because I miss out on specific enemy types, and it messes with the game physics and makes it easier when it really makes it harder. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yo, Devil May Cry 1 is no fucking joke either. That's another game. Jesus Christ, Choco, I'll give you all credit for you to be able to play that game because I don't think I can.
Yeah, that game's a nuisance. I haven't finished that one. Now I have the other version of the game.
Yeah,
all right, give me 1 second. Hold on.
All right. There's that game with Max Payne 1 and Max Payne 1, Max Payne 3 right now that I'm currently doing on my stream schedule. Max Payne 3, I'm playing that on hard at the moment because I played the game several times. I'm already used to how the enemies go. I'm already used to how certain shit goes. But this is what I do know. For people that have not played Max Payne 3, when I get a little later into the story, I know what's going to happen. The game is going to pick up and it's going to get even more difficult. So right now, the game's giving me a bit of leeway. But I know what's coming. When I get hit to one of the parts where you have to start fighting the police, that shit is going to be brutal. Especially since you don't have a whole lot of cover. It's either that, or it's one of the parts where you got to protect the girl. So that's one. And lastly, right now, I have to say Astral Chain that I just got started on. Halo 2 and Legendary I already beat. Astral Chain is testing me so much, and I'm only early into the game. Holy shit, I have not played a game like that difficult really since Sekiro. I gave up on Sekiro because how hard it is. But yeah, those are the 3 games for me.
I don't have any games right now that are pacing me to be like difficult right now. I'm playing Remnant from the Ashes. It's a damn good game. I'm gonna tell you that. I think people need to pick that game up and play it. It's a really good game. And I'm getting to the point now, I'm liking it so much, I may need to double back and start over and stream that game. And I might need to do that over finishing Gears 5, because I already did Gears 5. You can go on the First and Frame Race channel. I already beat that game. So I don't need I'm doing a new game plus, but I really don't care right now. But that game is good. So I'm playing that one right now exclusively. There's another game that I want to start, but I realized that I got the first version of the game. I mean, I got the second version of the game, so I need to go back and buy the first one. And I'll talk about that on my pickup video that I'm going to put out on Monday. But there's a lot of good games out here that are really enjoyable to play. And I think that's something that we in general need to start that's another thing in general that we need to start trying to obtain and start to do, because we lose sight of that. Everybody plays the new game that's out, and there's a lot of games that's under the radar that is released and nobody knows about until you have to go back and find them. But like I said, I just think at the end of the day, when it comes to these easy games, I think it's nothing wrong with playing games on easy. I think people just really need to figure out where they're going to be as far as if you're doing it for entertainment, that's fine. But if you're doing it and you're trying to say you're a beast at the same time and you're streaming while you're doing this, I just can't get down with that. King David said I need to get back to Hades. I agree. I'm with you. I need to get back on it too. That is a very good game. Another good game that most people don't talk about.
Bro, that's all you and Preacher Valid be talking about is fucking Hades.
That game is good.
God,
like seriously, that is a good game. And I didn't know about it until because I bought Transistor, and I guess we could talk about this before we close. Cause we still got another maybe 20 minutes. We don't need to touch about the easy games anymore. I guess we can talk about just games in general right now before we go. I had bought the game Transistor due to Jack Move Johnny was talking about it, and I did not like Transistor. I thought the game was terrible. He loves it. I hate it. I do not like that game. But the guys who made that game made Hades, and I'm like, okay, it kind of has like this God of War setting of the characters or whatever, and it's somewhat of a hack and slash. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna try this, and I started playing it, and I'm like, yo, this is good. This is really good. And I can't. I need to get back on it. I can't stop thinking about it once I start playing it. King David says I still haven't whooped Hades. I got to him multiple times, but never got it. See, that's what I'm saying. It's like, but it's a challenge though, and it makes you want to keep playing. That game is highly addictive. Highly addictive.
Right. Definitely. Sure.
But like between that, like I said, Remnant from the Ashes, I highly recommend playing that game. Like, I'm dead serious on it. That it's a third-person shooter. It's kind of like a low-budget Last of Us game, but it's really, I really enjoy it. Also, On Rush is another game that I've been playing. It's a racing game. It's a combat racing game. I recommend that as well.
What is it?
It's called On Rush, made by Codemasters.
Rush?
Yeah, it's called On Rush. It's a combat racing game, and it's pretty cool. Like, it's not just, you don't just face off with people with cars. You drive with ATVs. You play with motorcycles, and it's all these different type of things you have to do in the race. It's not just a regular race. Like, some races you have to get the checkpoint before the time runs out, and other ones you have to knock everybody else out of the off the road or something. It's a really unique take on racing. I enjoy it. I picked that up one day doing my pickups, and it's a really good game. I highly
recommend
it.
Is this a PC?
It should be. If it's made by Codemasters, it should be.
Okay, I'm gonna make sure if I look that up, because one of my friends in Mystical Acer, he told me to check out some kind of wreckage game, some kind of a
it's another wreckage game that's out there. I don't know I can't remember the name of it, but On Rush, that is one of the few games Codemasters made before they left and went to EA, and we're not going to talk about that other game that they made. That game is bona fide trash. I wish you would have never made it. But On Rush is a good game. I highly recommend it.
I found this called Wreckfest.
Yeah, Wreckfest is another good. That's a good one as well. But that's a demolition derby game. That's more a demolition derby. On Rush is more like, let's say Forza Horizon meets Burnout. It's kind of like that.
Okay.
It's like that.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Yeah, it's like Forza Horizon meets Burnout.
Okay, y'all got my attention.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
I like it. With Burnout.
It's pretty cool. So I think that is a lot. Like I say, it's a lot of games out here that nobody really talk about, and they're really, like this game I was just talking about earlier. This one, this Dungeons and Dragons Heroes game for the original Xbox. Yeah, it's on original Xbox, a few generations behind, but this is a really good game. I don't mind doing a retro stream of that one day. You know what I mean? And like before we close the podcast, because I know we're at an hour now. I think that I think we as gamers are really, really spoiled. We are very spoiled. There's a lot of games out here, a lot of consoles. There's a lot of games you can just go pick up and play. And for the most part, they're not really that expensive when you really consider just buying games or just getting them through Game Pass or PlayStation Plus. I don't really want to go down this rabbit hole, but I don't understand why a lot of people do complain about the state of gaming overall. And I don't want to get into the that aspect of it because we talk about it a lot. But how do you feel about the state of gaming right now, as far as the quality and the quantity of games that we have?
I feel like because of the quality of games that these devs have been putting out lately, is I feel like it's because that it leaves little room for error, goes to the community. Whereas, okay, just a couple few slip ups from here and there, and the community is just gonna be breathing down your neck. Or if you don't release a certain game at a certain amount of time, then okay, then people are just gonna keep on rushing and rushing and rushing until the game comes out, and then all of a sudden it's a piece of trash, i.e., Cyberpunk.
Oh my God, let's not talk about that. 44 gigabyte patch later, and that game's still broken.
Exactly, but that's what I mean. That's exactly what I'm talking about, which kind of goes to my point. Where it's like, yo, instead of just that, where it's so much of a higher bar of quality because of the technology we have now, that we really do not appreciate the little things that we had back then. Like, take this now when it goes to sports gaming, whereas when it goes to 2K or like when it goes to Madden, everything we're looking at is we really want to look at these games being the top tier, highest quality of football games or basketball games that we have. Instead, okay, if you're not too thrilled with that, you always just go back and enjoy what the little thing, enjoy what the classics had. I mean, shit, me and VF out here, we still out here playing NCAA football for the PS2, and we
But
see how much
this
high
goes back to what I was saying about
those games had.
This goes back to what I was saying about the first part of this podcast, game preservation. This is another reason why you want to preserve games, because there's games that you may go back and want to revisit.
Right, and like it's crazy to me how it's like we're always looking forward to these new games, but then when games don't pan out, we still sit up there and we buy them, bitch and complain about them. So and I kind of like, for me, that's not really my style. I mean, like, unless I know, if I'm bitching and complaining about a certain game, that's when I truly do care about the game and why I want it to succeed. Such as at that time when I was bitching about Destiny and what they were doing, and now look at Destiny all of a sudden. I mean, the free to play game, they're still making money and stuff like that. For what they've been doing. So
you talk about a game that was turned around. I mean, Destiny was on the verge of being like the worst game ever. They did a good. No Man's Sky was another one, but Destiny at one point, Destiny 1 was like dead in the water at one point. It was terrible.
Right, and now look at it. People are still playing this even to this day on the new generation of consoles. So yeah, that's really how I feel. Is we lose sight of what we had before, or we're losing sight of I guess what potential a game may have, even though it released poorly at that year or at that certain time. Instead, we just lost patience. This community just simply just lost patience on a lot of things.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I mean, like King David said, there's so much variety these days, especially in the AA and indie space. Hey, I agree. There's a lot of games, like I was talking about, a lot of games that people don't know about that's possibly going to be gone if you don't watch it. Like there's a few games that's on the Wii U virtual console that are indie titles that I've never seen before, and I doubt if they're anywhere else. And I'm worried that those games are going to be gone as well. So I'm going to take my chance and see what they're about, and at least try to preserve them. Choco says he loved going back to NES and N64 games from time to time. I do as well. I mean, I just got finished playing. Now I ain't gonna say just got finished, but the last few streams I did a while back, I still play like the NBA Lives and I played Castlevania 4. I did Ninja Turtles and not Turtles in Time, but I was about to say Return of the Shredder. Hyperstone Heist. Hyperstone Heist. I did that. I did Mega Man X. You know, those are like when I go do retro
Ooh.
streams, I try to stay away. I try to stay away from the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis era. But when I think about retro, those are the ones I want to play. Like NES is great, but it's like when I think of NES, I'll be wanting to play like Ninja Gaiden. That's probably about it. Like I don't have a problem with NES games, but like that's the first one I want to come to mind. Choco says, rip all of those PSN and PS3 games going offline. Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. I agree.
We were just talking about it.
We were just talking about that. I'm with it.
You know,
because I'm not necessarily ripping them. I'm buying them on my PS3, the ones that I want. But I know there's going to come a time that I could probably get access to all of them because I have access to all of the games that was on the Wii U virtual console. I'm not the Wii U, but the Wii virtual console. I think I showed you that one time. I had like all the games. I have all the games that was on the Wii virtual console. I put them on the Dolphin. And that's just for preservation purposes. I'm not sitting there playing them or whatever. If I want to play a game that's on my virtual console, I'll play it on the Wii. You know what I mean? Like, you know. So it's like, Choco said, I play Snake, Rattle, and Roll on NES. That's my go-to obscure retro game that no one's ever heard of. See, and see, that's the thing.
I never heard of that one.
I've heard of it, but I've never played it. But this is the thing. I want to get to a space, hopefully I'll be doing this sometime in the future, where I find games like that nobody knows about and stream them. Because not only that you want to preserve these games, you want to keep them alive in some form of fashion. It's one of the reasons why I like to listen to older music. I always like go back and play and listen to older music because all the stuff that's out now, you know, I mean, that's another story for another day. But I love playing like older music to keep that stuff alive because it's still high quality. Just because it's old, that doesn't mean it's bad. You know what I mean? There's a lot of movies that people love to go back and watch. There's a lot of old cars that out here that are classics and love to see them being showcased and shown off. There's a lot of things that are, you know, like your favorite throwback jersey. Now, I'm not saying that you go around and wear the throwback jersey, but you like to see that from time to time. You don't want that to be buried and thrown away like these PS3 games are. I mean, that'd be horrible. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine your Randall Cunningham, because you're an Eagles fan, imagine your Randall Cunningham jersey just go away because the Eagles say, well, we don't want to see that no more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's gonna suck.
Yeah, that would be horrible. Why would you do that? So I look at it the same analogy of these games. Like, why would you get rid of all these games just because they're old? You know, nobody's trying to bury the Jordan 5s. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to sell those Jordans every single time. Oh, no, they're old, so let's get rid of them. No, those are classics, you know. Keep those alive, you know, but I don't know. Anything else you got? I think we covered everything, you know. I don't have anything else. I think this has been a pretty good episode. Anything you want to add, just let me know.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a few more things I do want to add. So, yeah, for you guys, if you do want to catch in some form of what kind of retros I be playing and what I be doing, you can catch me on my Glimish channel, which is glimish.tv/SpectacularPooh2414, where I pretty much right now, like on Wednesdays I play Max Payne 3. That's my current project that I play on every Wednesday, and I'm having a very fun time with that. Sundays I tend to go with NCAA football 2007 because usually how I would do it is I would do like football streams on the Discord, but since there's nothing going on with football, at least not until the NFL draft, I keep myself busy by playing some NCAA football and just chill out with that. And really, that's really just about it, you know. Klonoa, damn, that's a very fun game.
No, that game is fire. Like, I'm not lying. I didn't even think about that. That's on the PSN store. And that's one PSN game I don't have. I'm buying that. I forgot all about that.
Oh Jesus Christ, I forgot all about that game. Yeah, that's where you guys can catch me. You know, I tend to play some retros. I play a mix of retro games and modern games here and there, and you know, I just have a lot of fun with that. Other than that, there's really not much else. I mean, just keep on preserving your games, keep having fun, and you know, enjoy yourself.
Yeah, don't let these games die off. Like, seriously, like, yeah. I think right now I'm up to like 40 PlayStation 1 games that I bought from the PSN store. I think I'm up to that, but I still got more space. I mean, they don't take up that much space on the PS3 hard drive. So either I'm going to try to buy some of them physically, but if they're too expensive, I'll just buy them on the PSN store. Because like right now, they're like $5.99 on the PSN store. They're really easy to get. There's a couple of them that may be a little bit more expensive because of the rarity, but you're not going to pay no more than $9.99 for it. I think Parasite Eve is another one that's like $9. Metal Gear Solid is $9, but Metal Gear Solid is a 2-disc game, so I can understand that. All the Street Fighters on PS1, they're $5.99 or whatever the case may be. Oh, also I put the link. If you haven't, I put SpectacularPooh's link of his streaming channel on YouTube as well. So you guys go check that out and follow him over there.
Yeah, definitely, sure.
Like I said, Klonoa is like a 60, almost $100 game. He's right, but you can go look up The Adventures of Tron Bond right now on eBay or look it up on Amazon. You know, Adventures of Trombone is very expensive. What's that? Sudoku? I think it's Sudoku 2. I think I said that right. That's like a $300 game on Amazon right now. You get it for $5.99. You know, and I mean, wow. Yeah, like seriously. Harmful Park. That's a Japanese game that I play. I think you see me play that game. It's like a amusement park shooter. Mm-hmm. That's a $500 game in Japan right now. You can get it right now for like 600 yen, which is almost like the equivalent to $5. It's like there are some games like right now that are like super expensive, and you can get them off the PlayStation stores like dirt cheap. Iron Hander, Gaia Seed, Donpachi, 1 and 2.
I know what that is.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. Pocket Fighter, the Game Paradise 2. Well, I ain't gonna say I'm not gonna say Strikers 1942 anymore because that's on Steam now, so the price of that is going down. But at one point, that was like an $80 game. Thunder Force 5, Gradius
War of
5.
The Monsters. Yo, I remember playing that game.
War of the Monsters is another one.
Demo.
Yeah, that is
oh
another
my
one.
god!
It's games out here.
Hey, look! I think it'd be right to promote this real quick. If you guys really did love that Godzilla versus Kong movie, if you guys look up War of the Monsters, that's as close of an experience of a King Kong versus Godzilla video game that you're gonna get. That shit is fun. Oh my god, thank you for mentioning that. I need to put that up. Holy shit.
But yeah, it's very, very, there's a lot of games. You see me? Yeah, you see me? You see Daddy?
Raptoros made?
You see Daddy? Yep.
Hey yo, Choco, we need to do that Parasect.
But yeah, I think we could close it out right there. I mean, I want to appreciate everybody who came through. You guys have been great. There's a really good crowd tonight and a lot of feedback all the way over from Twitch. Even a few people on Facebook said something. You guys are great. What are you trying to do, sir? Well, I don't know. You tell me.
Hey, VF Jr.
You tell everybody bye. All right. I don't have anything else. If you guys haven't already, hit the like button. If you haven't already, also share this podcast. I am on the verge of putting this on iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud. Just got to do a couple of things. I have to get that situated before because I got to get approval and all the other good stuff. Sir, this is my son, y'all. He is the best. You want to get down? There you go. And I'm in the verge of doing all of that, and hopefully that comes about. I already got one podcast on the platform, so I'm trying to do the same thing. Also, I may stream later on tonight, depends on how I feel, but I'm definitely gonna be streaming tomorrow. I may play the Remnant game because I like that Remnant from the Ashes. I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to cut off Gears 5, and I'll be doing that. So
I might do the same because I might do the same on my. I actually might do an impromptu stream tonight because there is a mod that I've been wanting to try out from the Halo community, which is absolutely phenomenal. There's no way I can't pass up this Halo mod. It's one that completely revamps all of Halo 1, and they just changed the way how they did the story is just downright fun. So I feel like I need to do that tonight. So that's going to be something that I'll do. And for people that are curious about Mario Kart 8, I will be doing that tomorrow at 8:30. So
I just got finished buying the DLC for Mario Kart on the Wii U.
Oh wow, which one?
I got all the ones that was available on the Wii U. I don't know what's available on the Switch, but I wanted to do that because I have the game. But that's one game I'm probably gonna end up buying when I get a Switch though, because I love Mario Kart 8. It's a really fun game.
Yeah, definitely for sure. Mario Kart 8, man. Like I honestly I tried to avoid getting Mario Kart 8. Truth be told, I tried to avoid it for at least a couple of years until I'm like, you know what? Now let me go ahead and buy it. And now it's just one of the fun games that we have with the community. It's really
I see you guys over there having fun with it. That's pretty cool. Yeah. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Next week I will be back once again. It'll be at 8:30 p.m. on Saturday. That's where I do this podcast. Also, I do the First and Frame Rates podcast every Tuesday and Thursday, and around the same time, 8:30. And I'll be streaming throughout the week. Pretty much just random games. I'm a variety streamer and I also do a lot of sports titles as well. So I'll be doing all of that. I'm about to go put little man to bed, and I'll probably be back streaming. You'll find me over here on Twitch. If you haven't followed me over here on Twitch, I really appreciate it. So I will be streaming probably later on the night. You guys take it easy, and we will see you next week.